Hello guys, this is Bhushan and today we are going to learn what is a data frame and its operations part 2. Okay, so in the last video we had discussed what is a data frame. So I would give you a quick overview of what was data frame. So data frame is a two-dimensional size mutable potentially heterogeneous tabular data structure with labeled axes, that is rows and columns. So a potentially heterogeneous means various types of data can be stored in it like numeric characters, etc. And tabular data structure with labeled axes, which has rows and columns in it. So in simple words, a data frame is a two-dimensional data structure that is data aligned in a tabular fashion in rows and columns. Okay, so that was what is a data frame. And in the last video we also discussed some of the operations of data frame, like how to create a pandas data frame, how to select an index or column from a data frame, how to add an index row or a column to a data frame, how to delete indices rows or columns from a data frame, and how to rename the columns or indices of a data frame. So in this case we would be discussing how to format the data in your data frame, how to create an empty data frame, does pandas recognize dates when importing data, and how to iterate over a data frame, and how to write a data frame to a file. So let's see first thing, that is how to rename the columns, no sorry, how to format the data in your data frame. So how to format the data in your pandas data frame. Most of the times you will also want to be able to do some operations on the actual values that are contained within your data frame. In the following sections you will cover several ways in which you can format your data frame values, replacing all occurrences of a string in a data frame. To replace certain strings in your data frame, you can easily use replaces an method, so and pass the values that you would like to change followed by the values you want to replace them by. So replace bracket means that we have to pass two parameters. Then what would be that two parameters? The first parameter would be the value that we want to replace, and the second value would be the value that we want to replace with. Okay, for example, I want all the and to be replaced by or, so what I would pass is replace bracket and comma or bracket close. Okay, so all the ands would be replaced by ors. Now let us see that in the code. So first of all we would print df. So the output that is shown in the right figure is the df, and then we would pass the command df dot replace, and we have passed an whole bracket. So what it would do is it would replace all the characters by a numerical values between 0 to 4, and the output is not shown. You can see it for yourself that awful would be replaced by 0, poor would be replaced by 1, okay would be replaced by 2, acceptable would be replaced by 3, and perfect would be replaced by 4. So this data frame uh, uh, would be transformed from character to numerical just by using the replace method. And a data frame is actually an heterogeneous form, so it doesn't matter if there are characters or numericals inside the data frame, so it can be anything. Okay, then removing parts from a strings in your cell of your data frame, you can use map on the column results to it, apply the lambda function over each element or element wise of the column. The function in itself takes the string value and the strips the plus or the minus that's located on the left, and also strips away the 6 abc's on the right side. Okay, so what does that mean is, for example, I have a data frame whose last column or whose any of the column has numerical values, and whose just one column has the values like 3a, 3b, 3c, and I don't want numerical values in that column also. I want to remove all the alphabetical values, and I just want numerical values to stay there. So what I would do is I would use the remove function. Okay, so now what does that remove function would do? It would I have to specify that I have to r strip or I have to l strip. R strip, l strip is like the precedent and descendant, that is the left hand side that alphabetical order is present, or on the right side the alphabetical order is present. So now I have the values 3a, 3b, 3c like this. So I have to do an r strip of, and I have to pass the parameters. So I would pass a, b, c, and all the alphabetical values would be removed from the frame. So we would see that in the code itself, that the fifth line says that df result is equal to df result dot map. We have to use the map function. Okay, so lambda x and x dot l strip. So what we have to l strip, plus or minus is present in the l strip. See, I have not given any gap. So what does that do is that it first takes the character plus, then it sees if plus is present or minus is present. That is, all the characters that are present between that inverted commas uh, are to be removed. Okay, so plus or minus, it specifies that it is plus or minus. And r strip similarly, a b c, a capital A or capital A or or small b or capital B, it's like this. Okay, so in the output we have not shown the result, but what would be the last row, that is the result column, would be 3, 6 and 9. Okay, so I think that was simple. Now let us see splitting text in a column into multiple rows in a data frame. So what we have to do is we have to like in this case, we have if we print the df data frame, so we would see the output result in the second figure, and we see that the last column has the ticket column has a row which has 43, 68, 05, 56, 34, 12, which is a bigger than the expected value. So now we have to split that text into a new row into the same column. So after doing that, it would actually not make this data frame a data frame. Why? Because the the other columns age plus 1 are empty, and the ticket column would have an extra row. So that is not a data frame. So we have to rearrange the data frame to become a data frame. So the seventh line says that we have to str dot split, and for whenever there is we find a gap, we have to split and apply the pd series 1, and then we have to stack it. So what we do is we split out the two values in the third row, make it a series, and stack the values. Okay, so now after we stack the values, we have to get rid of the stack, drop the level to a line with the data frame, and then make your series a data frame, because it would not be a data frame. We have discussed this. And then we have to delete the ticket column. Okay, and then join the ticket data frame to df. Okay, so check out, and then check out the new data frame. All right, now in short, what we have done is, first you inspect the data frame at hand. You see that the values in your last row and the last column are a bit too long. It appears there are two tickets because a guest has taken a +1 to the concert. You take the tickets column from the data frame df and strings on a space. This will make sure that the two tickets will end up in a two separate rows in the end. Next, you take these four rows, the four ticket number, and put them into a series object. Okay, so that is what we have done. Now what happens is, this does not seem quite right, because you have nan values in there. You have to stack the series to make sure you do not have any nan values in the resulting series. Next, you see that the series is stacked. So what we have done here is, first we have converted the space into a new column, as the row 0 and 1 had nothing into the right side, so we have passed a nan value in there. So we don't want a nan value in our data frame. So what we are going to do is we are going to take the last value and we are going to put it into a new row into the same column, the column which was labeled as tickets. So you can see in the below figure that we have, what we have done is we have put it into a new column and we have mentioned it as the one row, and rest all other rows are 0. Then you can see, so I hope it is clear to you. Then this is not the ideal, rather that is why drop the level to line up with the data frame and transform your series to a data frame to make sure you can join it back to your initial data frame. However, to avoid any duplicates in your data frame, you can delete the original ticket column. So this why we have deleted the ticket column. So to avoid your any duplicates in your data frame, we have to delete the original ticket data frame, ticket column. Okay, so now let us see how to create an empty data frame. The function that you will use is the pandas data frame function. It requires you to pass the data that you want to put in, the indices and the columns. Remember that the data is contained within the data frame, doesn't have to be homogeneous. It can be of different data types. There are several ways in which you can use this function to make an empty data frame. Firstly, you can use numpy.nan to initialize your data frame with nans. Note that numpy.nan has type data float, has type float. Okay, so when we make an empty data frame, if we have a data frame of all the nans, then the what would be the data type of that data frame? It would be float. Why it would be float? Because the data type of nan is float. Okay, so right now the data type of the data frame is inferred by default. Because numpy.nan has the type float, the data frame will also contain the values of type float. You can, however, also you force the data frame to be a particular type of type by adding the attribute d type and filling in the desired type. Okay, so now let us see it in the code. So what we do is df is equal to pd dot data frame np dot nan index 0 1 2 3 and columns a. So it would make an empty data frame. We could also specify the d type of the data frame, and it could be anything except for, now as in this case is this float, we can do it anything by specifying the d type, and it would change the data type of the data frame. Okay, now does pandas recognize dates when importing data? So does it? So of the answer to this question is yes, it does. Pandas can recognize it, but you need to help it to a tiny extent. Add the argument pass dates when you are reading in the data from, let's say, a CSV file, comma separated value file. Import pandas as pd dot read csv your file, and then we have to pass the parameter parse dot dates is equal to true, that we want to read the dates. We have to tell pandas that we want to read the dates, so we have passed the parameters parse underscore dates is equal to true. Or there is also another option that you can create an column which would specify the dates of the data. Okay, so pd dot read underscore csv your file, and pass dot dates is equal to column name. Okay, so that means that pandas can recognize data when importing data. There are, however, always weird data time formats. No worries. In such case, you can construct your own parser to deal with this. You could, for example, make a lambda function that takes your data time and controls it with a format string. So import pandas as PD, and then we pass our own data time, that is data parser is equal to lambda x pd dot data time dot strip time, and then year, month, date, and hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, then which makes you read your read command as pd dot read underscore csv, then in file, comma pass dates is equal to column name, and then the data parser is equal to data parse. Okay, so or combine the two columns into a single data frame, that is parse dot dates is equal to data time comma date comma time, and then data parser is equal to data parser parse. Okay, so complete thing of reading dates in however format we want, or how to write into however format we want, can be done using the pandas library. Okay, now let us see how to iterate over a pandas data frame. You can iterate over the rows of your data frame with the help of a for loop in combination with an iter rows call on your data frame. So what is required for us to use from the data frame or the pandas library is we need an iter rows to iterate over the rows. So iter rows allows you to efficiently loop over your data frame rows as indices, index, series, pairs. In other words, if you give index comma row tuples as a result. So let us see that in the code. So iter rows allows you to efficiently loop over your data frame rows as index and series. So what does that mean is that the iter rows would allow us to iterate over the, first we have to pass the index. So what would be our index? The index would be like 0 1 2 3, all any index that any index of the row that we want to access, and then the series would be the column that we want to access. Okay, so let us see that in the code. So for example, the pdf is equal to pd dot data frames, and we first create the data frame. So data frame would be 1 2 3 a horizontal line, then 4 5 6, then 7 7 8 9. So now the third line says for index row in df dot iter rows, that what that print row a comma row b. What that would mean is that iterate from row A till row B, and then print all the values that are present from row A till row B. If it would be from row A to row C, then it would print the whole data frame. But as it is from just the row A to row B, so it would print 1 2 4 5 and 7 8. I hope it how to iterate over a pandas data frame is clear to you, because it is very simple. Okay, now how to write a pandas data frame to a file. When you have done your data munching and manipulation with pandas, you might want to export the data frame to another format. This section will cover two ways of outputting your data frame to a CSV or an Excel file. Then first we will see how to output a data frame to a CSV file. What is a CSV file? It is a comma separated values file. Okay, so to write a data frame as a CSV file, you can use to underscore CSV function. So this code of function seems quite simple, but this is just where the difficulties begin for the most of the people, because you will have to specify requirements for your output of your data. Maybe you don't want a comma as a delimiter, or you want to specify a specific encoding. Don't worry, you can pass some additional arguments to underscore CSV. to make sure that your data is outputted the way you want to be. So this code is actually very simple. df.to_csv my data frame.csv, but we I told you the difficulty that is present in this. So let us see how to write a data frame to an Excel. Similarly to what you did to output your data frame to CSV, you can use to Excel to write your data table to Excel. However, it is now more complicated. We have to pass writer is equal to pd.excel writer my data frame, and then df.to_excel writer comma data frame and writer dot save. However, that just like with the 2CSV, you have a lot of extra arguments such as star col, star row, and so on to make sure output your data correctly. We have to pass this arguments star col and star row. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the video. I hope what is a data frame and its application is clear to you.